once a DDR has been imported and completed, you'll have different analyses numbers, like 1, 2. I've generated 3 different analyses of this starter solution called assets. And what I'm going to show you is just basically this part here is just how to navigate around and what's different from version 4 to version 5. So basically from version 4, we used to have form views and list views. Now in version 5, everything is a list view. So if I select an analysis, I can click on scripts. I'll be looking at all my scripts in my solution. And basically the 3 main areas that we focused on when we rebuilt this was basically where are you? So I'm looking at scripts, top and center. What am I looking at? What database, what script I'm in, how many steps are in that script, and then how many references does that script have. So those are the 3 main anchors in this window to show you what you're looking at. And so it's consistent in any one of the views. So for example, if I go look at fields, what am I looking at? Where am I? What am I looking at? And how many references of it? Same thing for layouts, etc., etc. So we did away with these sub-navigations, so everything happens in these popovers. So you can navigate to a particular area just by clicking the area and then going to a specific sub-area from the popover. And if we look at scripts in particular, the database name shows up only once the first time. And if you have a large number of scripts in your solution, you may not see the database name later down in the list. And what we have is like you have a tooltip here in this white space. So if you ever wonder what database this script belongs to, you can just hover in this area and see that the inventory report script is indeed in the assets database. Along the top in this header strip, there are tooltips for all these different things. So for example, all these warnings that you'll see here, these are just compatibility: Mac, Windows, Server, iOS, Custom Web Publishing, WebDirect. And what you're seeing is the compatibility rolled up to the script level, meaning that if I look at this script, I can see that it has server incompatible steps, iOS, Custom Web Publishing, and WebDirect incompatible steps. I can drill into the script by simply clicking on the area here where the step number is, and that will take me to the actual steps in the script. And you'll see here the actual incompatibilities listed here as well too. So if I go backward and forward navigation is up here on the top left. And let's see here. Another thing with navigation that I think a lot of users often ask about is from the actual dashboard. When I'm looking at an analysis and I see that there are problems, instead of just clicking on scripts and then seeing these scripts and seeing the list of problems listed here, I can actually go directly to see all the problem scripts. So clicking on the warning triangle is actually another shortcut to actually take you to the problem scripts. And this script has problems, but actually it's the steps inside the script. So I click on the steps to reveal all the steps. And here we see a field is missing, another field is missing, all these fields have been deleted and causing problems here. So just getting around that way is basically the very basics of navigating around. So if you ever want to start back at the beginning, just go back to the dashboard and click to a different view to get around. There's a lot of exploring. There's a lot of data that's been collected. Again, everything is listed by tooltips. If, for example, we look at fields, there's some filtering options available when you're looking at fields. So for example, You could filter by showing me all the text fields in your solution or number fields. You could also filter by calculated fields, show only the calculated fields. The the other thing that's interesting about Inspector is that you notice that there's a lot of F and T. These are true and false values where you see these little letters. What we've done is when we gather the data from the DDR, there are some attributes for every one of these items that comes in as true or false. And what we turned it into is a Boolean value, and you then have this true or false letter showing up here. But when you go into find mode, for example, you could actually search for a true value by just entering 1 or 0. So here's all my auto enter calculation items that have auto enter turned on as a calculation. These little bubbles are calculation bubbles. You can click on them and see the calculation. So the field area is quite condensed. So this is general field information. The blue colored items are auto enter. The orange stuff is validation, and the light green is container related data. So that's in general, that's navigating around. And again, if you happen to be on a script and you select a script, or you go to a different area, you can always use the backward and forward navigation arrows to take you back to where you were.